welcome to today's episode of Sage's Retreat, episode 29, coming at you with the best games, the best films, the best everything news about being dad. In Ben's case, just about being Ben, which is perfectly acceptable. So we'll have dad news and maybe beer news. You never know. Today we're going to jump straight into it. We're going to hop straight and see what everyone's been doing. If everyone's been doing anything interesting at all in the last few days. Nathan, we'll start with you.
I've been playing Hades on Epic because it was on sale, and I've been at work and not much else. Been looking for a new car and planning a holiday, but that's it.
What else do you need to do? I think that sounds like a busy man to me. That sounds like general busy life stuff. Do you need a new car?
Yeah, Jade, I don't know if I told you, bought a new car and it's knackered already in 2 months.
Oh, she hasn't had it long because she said to me like, that's Jade's car. I remember when I popped around your house, you were like, that's Jade's car. And I was like, oh, I didn't realise. And you were like, yeah, it's new. And she's broke it already. Yeah,
well, it's broke itself, and we're in a little bit of a argument with the dealer about getting his money back. And I said to her, "You can just give me the money whenever you get your money back, and I'll have a new car, and she can have my old one." So
there we go. Then jobs are good.
Yeah.
Yourself, Ben, what have you been up to? Anything?
Cracking on with my figures. I've got a big Arnold Schwarzenegger job on.
I was going to ask, have you working on anything interesting or new? Maybe?
Yeah, I can show you me little. I'm a sort of. This is a dude.
It's looking good.
Obviously, it's not finished. It's the Pumping Iron edition.
Yes,
it's going to be a He-Man. There's a few of them on go, and besides that, I've just been out supporting his local pubs. I went to Manchester for the weekend as well.
Okay. Any reason, or just to go?
It was third wedding anniversary, so we decided to get out of the house, do something. So not too far away.
I thought you'd been married a lot longer for some reason. When you said third, I was like, oh, that's not very long. I thought you'd been for some. I don't know what it was. I just thought you'd been married married a lot longer. Wow.
3 years.
3
You've been together a while, haven't you?
10 years we've been together.
That's good. There's people that get married like 2 or 3 times in 10 years. So, I mean, if you can be with someone for 10 years, I mean, it's a success, isn't it? You know, you're doing well. So you've been with your missus quite a while as well, haven't you, Nathan?
Yeah, coming up 13 years. 13 years, yeah. We just had our 10th wedding anniversary.
Yes, well. I remember you saying, your 10th. You wanted to do something, but you ended up not doing it because of because of the whole the world.
Yeah, the plan was always...
Because of the Chinese. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll cut that bit out, yeah.
The plan was always New York, but obviously we can't go anywhere or do anything, and I was out of work for the year leading up to, so that's obviously not going to happen, but something will happen. We'll do something next year.
Yeah, of course, just get it sorted, don't you?
Yeah.
So leading on from that, I've been with my missus for... Well, my oldest daughter is 20, so quite a few years. So we'll just say 21... 22-ish, maybe a little bit longer.
I thought you were going to say like 15 then. I was going to say.
No, I mean, I think we got together, I want to say 98-ish. But
when I were in year 8 at school, yeah.
Trying to figure that one out I think it might have been 99. I don't know. When you're trying to figure something out that was quite a few years ago, it's like, and you've got some facts that you think you can smash together, but in fact, it just makes it more confusing. Pretty much a long time. Straight on to game news. You've got a few bits and bobs, haven't you?
I have. So obviously, it's E3 at the minute. So I've got a little few tidbits from that, but there's still 2 more days of it, and I'm sure there'll be loads of other stuff. But there's been 3 games announced, which I'm a little bit excited about. First one is Elden Ring, which I talk about a lot on my stream, which is the Dark Souls, like the newest one from Software. It announced 2 years ago, and nothing since, and everyone's been getting mad about it and stuff. So I have got that coming out next year, which I'm a bit disappointed at. I wanted it for this year. The other one is Salt and Survive, which is the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary, which is like a sort of platformer with like really, really good like an art style to it, like a sort of drone one. So I'm looking forward to that. That's not till next year. And then this is specifically aimed at Ben, This gaming news. Axiom Verge 2 has been announced. Yeah, trailer for it. It's a new protagonist. It's mainly focused on melee, not shooting. Do you know, as that first one was shooting? It's got a slight graphical upgrade, but only as in like that was the NES style, the first one, and the second one might be SNES.
Right.
But still looks
is it like Shovel Knight? Because that were kind of NES, but like beefed up.
Yeah,
bit better than NES.
Yeah, better than NES, but not quite SNES. It's like it falls in between. It doesn't look crap. The graphics, I don't want to say they look crap because NES don't look crap, but it looks like it's specifically done to that art style, and it works very well. It does look good at that. But there's some bad news on it. You can skip the bosses if you want, because too many people complained that the first one was too hard, and they got to a boss and then couldn't get past it. So
it weren't even hard.
I know it weren't. The dev, I can't remember his name. In fact, I've got his.
Yeah, in it one guy who literally did everything. He did music,
Thomas
graphics, programming.
Yeah, he's been doing it for the last 5 years. It's been 6 years nearly.
Yeah,
he's been doing this one, and I'll link the video afterwards. I can put it in that description as well. He's actually released the trailer, and he does the voiceover for the trailer, so he's explaining what he's done and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. And he says that loads of people came up to him and told him the game was too hard, but they loved it and they got stuck and stuff. So he's letting them skip that. I don't know what repercussions that'll have in terms of like completion or something, because I would say you need to take a penalty for that, for skipping all bosses.
Right at the end it says, right, go and play the fucker properly.
Yeah, like what game were it? What game were it when you got to end if you did it? Oh, it was Streets of Rage. You didn't get last level or something.
It gives you like a shit ending, didn't it?
Yeah.
There should be just give it 2 alternative endings.
It were Contra. You finish Contra on normal mode, and you just got like a picture at main guy, and then it will like go back and play it properly.
Yeah,
there's been more than one game that has different endings for different levels of difficulty. There's definitely been one recently where it didn't punish you, but it sort of said, go on, off you go, have another go. But then again, if you play a game once and you do okay with it, I mean, you can get used to the controls, and you can throw yourself in a bit more difficult. People do it with games all the time. But I don't think you should be punished for playing a game on a normal mode. I think that should be standard. And I think you should get maybe extra content for hard. And if you play it on easy, so be it. I think it's just. I think nowadays it's like story mode, normal mode, hard. Don't you know? That some people just like to play games because it's leisure time and it's fun. And I honestly don't think that you should be punished for that.
Yeah,
I played it like me in Dark Souls.
Yeah, I love a difficult game. Me, I don't. For me, I don't like playing a game unless it challenges me, because I like that.
You also whip yourself before you go to bed and stuff.
I do. Self-flagellation. I'm beating myself up all the time.
I learned that word because of Da Vinci Code.
That's where I learned. That's probably where I learned it from. That actually thinking about that. That's me while I play Dark Souls.
Like, so you take off your wig and you got your bleach kind of albino hair looking, and you just whack yourself, and you got a chalice thing on your leg as well. Yeah. It's just weird, Nathan. I didn't want to bring it up publicly, but I'm afraid it's out there now. And
hey, don't shame me. That's just what I like to do.
No, I'm sorry. You know, they say don't shame me. I'm like, it's the truth. It's not shaming. So, but yeah. I want to go on. Sorry.
Oh, good. I've got some more news. But if you want, what you're going to say?
I found this very interesting bit of news. So with games, often you get very limited release on certain items, and they never release again. You can't buy them, but you might be able to trade them or put them on a marketplace. And there's in Roblox, which both myself and yourself are familiar with. I don't know whether you're familiar with Roblox, Ben. No, that's all you need to know. It's a kids game. There's a lot of fun things to it. I mean, I played a golf game with my daughter Holly and thoroughly enjoyed it. It is genuinely very good. But there's some items in it which are super rare, and someone has recently spent $4,000 on a Roblox Gucci bag, and it is literally just a cosmetic bag that your character can have on. And also it looks terrible, which makes it worse for me. If it looked interesting, it's like this crappy looking designer bag. Something you see like Kim Kardashian with or something. And it's got like a bee on it. Like this slight 3D. It looks like, and it's one of those things that someone's bought just because.
Yeah.
Oh, I had $4,000. I'm not doing anything with. If you've got $4,000, you're not doing anything with. How much money has this person actually got? Too much is the answer. It's as simple as that. And yes, I think you can have too much money.
Are we sure this is not a child paying with someone's credit?
No, it's actually, as far as we're aware, it's actually a real person. That's
What?
not,
It's
a
it's a
adult.
loser.
An adult.
Yeah.
An adult
Yeah.
that's done it.
An adult with $4,000 to spare on a cosmetic bag for a children's game. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense. Any more gaming news?
I do. I know this one's going to make you sad. The Nuclear Winter, the Battle Royale mode, for Fallout 76, they're closing it down. Nobody plays it, so it's not going to be a thing anymore. We tried it a few times, didn't we? And it were all right. It was just...
I have an issue with Fallout 76. I want to enjoy it, but I can't. I can't get into it. I just can't do it. I can't even explain it. There's something about it I just find slightly boring, and I cannot. I didn't pay a lot for it. What was it like? Maybe a tenner, something like that. And I'm fine. I've had some hours in it, and maybe something will draw me into it, and I will manage to play it one day. But at the moment, I just can't seem to get into it. I don't mind. I'm not bitter about it. It's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got a last piece of news.
Gaming, yeah.
Yeah, gaming news. This one's specifically aimed at you, Lee, because I know you like to download things. Right. There's been a breach from some malware, and it's gone unnoticed for 2 years. And people that download Photoshop or some films from the internet or specifically pirated games.
I mean, I've done that in the past just to test stuff out, but I'm a good boy now.
Well, there's been a Trojan hidden inside which rewrites itself, and no antivirus software has picked it up in 2 years. So
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's just fell off the radar for anyone. They've not noticed it, and they've stolen 2 billion details or something. Where's it gone? 1.2 terabytes of personal information. Which is 26 million login credentials, 1.1 million unique email addresses, as well as loads of photos. So if anybody had any nudes on the computer, they've been stolen. It screenshots. That's how it gets around stuff. It screenshots your files. It opens and screenshots them.
Yep.
So it's text documents, passwords. You get these idiot older people that write all the passwords down on a Word document or a notepad. It stole all them, and it somehow got stopped in 2020. They don't know why it just stopped, but someone noticed that something had gone wrong with this Trojan because it dormant.
Okay.
So someone's obviously turned it off. And it looks like they bought it on dark web or something, and then it's just a normal person that's I'll try this, left it running and didn't realize what they were doing. But they've got 1.2 terabytes of.
I mean, you hear these things pop up every now and again, and I always find that it never seems to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And also, there's always that case of, is it scaremongering? Don't go there, or don't do this because this is going to happen. And I am aware that as much as there are dodgy things on the torrent sort of network, there's a lot of very genuine people that share for the sake of sharing. And I guess it's always been a risk when you do any sort of torrenting. Even I use torrents quite a lot for Linux distributions, and there's a risk that something could be dropped in those as well. But anything you download off the internet has got a risk. Websites can be cloned. Emails pretending to be from your bank, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, and hopefully it won't go anywhere. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, so if that's the end of your gaming news, I'm gonna. I've got one piece of film news which I thought but there's 2 bits of film, but one main bit of TV which I posted on my Facebook today. You might have seen it. the He-Man trailer is out, the new Netflix He-Man, and good lord, it is amazing. I always joke about, you know, when you hear something from the past, or you get that tingle, that it's so good. It got me. It absolutely got me. It looks amazing. I put a quote on my Facebook. It was something like, they turned She-Ra into lesbian fanfic. Look, I'm not attacking it. I actually watched quite a bit of the new She-Ra that they did, and I enjoyed quite a lot of it. But it got very heavy on this kind of like, it had this like angle, this sort of like, and it put a lot of people, and they were saying, oh, it's not meant for grown men to watch or grown women to watch. And I'm like, you know what? You've chosen a franchise from when we were growing up. Of course we're going to watch it, and of course we're going to judge it. If you don't like it, make something else. The only reason you picked She-Ra is because you knew that adults would watch it, and adults would say to their children, let's watch She-Ra. I used to watch She-Ra because I used to watch He-Man. They both sat side and side, and I enjoyed aspects of both. I enjoyed Hordak and all his crap that he threw at, and all his sort of bad guys and all the characters, the evil characters. And I thought She-Ra was a pretty good character. When hand in hand brilliantly with He-Man, with the new She-Ra, He-Man wasn't even in it. They didn't even include him. If it wasn't for He-Man, there would never have been a She-Ra. It's as simple as that. Yeah, so She-Ra turned into lesbian fanfic. Like I say, not attacking lesbians or fanfic. Both have their place. The new Thundercats Raw that they brought out, absolute what a pile of shit. I remember seeing the initial trailer for that and going, okay, it's got humour, but it is in no way doing the original Thundercats justice. Absolute turd. It flopped because every adult that watched it just went, what is this dog shit? You're not watching it? And then, like me or anyone else, they probably said to the kids, I'm sorry, you're not watching it because that's not Thundercats. That's just some turd they've thrown out. Because, oh my God, all cartoons have to be funny now. Look at me. I'm doing something funny. Ha ha, look at me. I'm doing something. Shut the fuck up. Thundercats was a kick-ass cartoon. Thoroughly enjoyed it growing up. There's nothing wrong with you creating another decent variant of Thundercats, which young kids can watch and go, this is amazing, this is powerful, and it makes me feel good. And you know what? They just didn't even bother, did they? Ben, did you ever catch any of that new Thundercats that
I briefly saw it. Like, the animation just screamed like cheesiness to me. Just so like, I don't know, just out of sorts for what it should have been.
Yeah, it was out of place. It wasn't Thundercats. It's as simple as that. So
yeah,
She-Ra they messed up. Thundercats.
Big fan of Thundercats growing up, like. So.
Yeah, Thundercats was my favourite, and then it was like He-Man.
Yeah, I took umbrage to that remake, well, and them new ones anyway.
But
this is not Thundercats.
You mean the one from it was a few years ago now, wasn't it? The thing is, though, it was very good. If you watched it as its own thing, it was very good. But however, they messed around with the story, and why would you do that? Just leave it. Leave the story. Leave the story alone. And if they'd had it as whether it was a prequel or a sequel, I think they maybe would have got away with it. But they didn't. They went, oh, here's these characters. We'll do something different. And no, it failed because of that. But on its own, if you ignored the history of Thundercats, it was a solid cartoon, and you give it that much worth of credit. Transformers, they've messed around with that for years. They've just, nothing solid has come out from Transformers that's been really worth mentioning, other than the first, maybe two, definitely the first film. The first three films, okay, but after that they just didn't know what they were doing with themselves. But the first the first Transformers film that came out, for me, I thought it was solid. But the rest is just, Ben, you pulling faces. Did you not enjoy any of the Transformers films?
I've never seen them, to be honest.
The first if you ever get a chance to watch the first one, if you liked Transformers,
no, I didn't even like it as a kid, to be honest.
Right, okay, it's fair enough.
That's not my bag of films at all.
No, it's 100%. It's fine. It's
steered clear of it.
Yeah, but the first one was very well received and did very well. I really enjoyed watching it. Just getting Optimus Prime back in action. The reason they messed that up big time for me was when they brought Hot Rod. Hot Rod was my favourite character. It was this red sports car. It was like a bit cocky. It was a warrior. and he eventually became Rodimus Prime, which was he eventually led the Transformers. His character, they made him French. They changed the color of his car. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't take a beloved character and just massively change it. What's the point? Why
Turn him French.
You didn't change Optimus Prime. He still oozes Optimus Prime, and it was the same guy doing the voice acting. I don't know what they're playing at. Absolute mess. But then we come, of course, to He-Man, and they smashed it out of the park. So good.
Is this Kevin Smith? Has he got something?
It is the new. Yeah, it was the what? Was it Kevin Smith? Kevin Smith?
I'm sure I read something about Kevin Smith He-Man.
Was it Kevin Smith?
Recently?
Yeah.
Silent Bob.
Yeah, and the animation is already been proven itself with some other stuff that came out. Solid. I am so excited watching it. I just felt like a kid. I was like, oh my god, there's He-Man, there's Teela, there's Man at Arms, there's Skeletor. They still look the same, but they look better. They look. I mean, He-Man was cheesy as fuck when it came out in the 80s. He looked terrible. He run like his shit himself. I don't even know what's going off with him.
It was that motion capture drawing thing. They used to do it with like Disney films and that as well.
And it would
basically film somebody.
It would be copied over and over again, wouldn't it? And like you'd see,
the same scene would be cut in.
Yeah, the animation of him running, it would be He-Man. But then if you saw Skeletor running, it would be exactly the same, and it'd be like, oh yeah. Even as a kid, I saw that, but I still enjoyed it. The new one, it's banging. Even Orko, you see Orko in it. He actually looks proper badass. He like puts his hand, because Orko was this magic being in He-Man. He was this special entity. He was separate, wasn't he, from the others? He was something different. But all he ever did was crap magic and mess stuff up. But during this, he puts his I think there's some sort of attack, some sort of like energy attack. Orko puts his hands up and blocks it, and he's just like, whoa, what's he doing? It's Orko. It just felt really good. I couldn't be more excited. Couldn't be more excited for it. Looking forward to it. It's coming out next month, I think, late next month. The only one thing I was mentioning is I keep seeing more and more news about Matrix 4 coming out. I don't want a Matrix 4. I didn't want a 2 and 3 either. I was happy with the first one. Should have just left it. Solid film. I don't like the fact that the Wachowskis have come out and turned around and went, oh yeah, that film was all about trans people. And it's like, no one got that when it came out or for 20 years after, but suddenly you just throw it out there. Obviously they've gone from the Wachowski brothers to the sisters, and now they're going, oh yeah, that film we made ages ago, that was trans. No one saw it. The various people have mentioned it on YouTube, and it's just like, what are they on about? They're just attention seeking. Will I watch Matrix 4? Of course I'll watch it, because I love films, and even trash films, as we all know. Will I enjoy it? I don't know, but I'm liking these new cast members that have been added, and one of them is Jessica Yulu Henwick, and she has been in lots of good stuff. She was in Game of Thrones. She was one of those three. Is it the Sand Sisters?
Yeah, them sisters. Yeah,
she was one of the sisters. She was in that film Underwater. She was in one of those. Was it Marvel? One of the Marvel things, like Daredevil. She was in the one.
Arrow.
No. What? It was the kung fu guy. She was in that.
Oh, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. She was in that. She played the love interest. The you can't say Oriental anymore. The Asian girl that's in it. Japanese that's in it. She's Chinese. Oh my god, I'm rubbish. I didn't do my research. Sorry.
Asian.
You can't. You say Asian to some people we look at Japan, China, and we can say Asian, but we also say it for other areas of the world. It confuses the Americans, which is we know.
We could say East Asian.
Yes, she's East Asian. We'll go with that. But then again, you always think of like Thailand, don't you? I don't know. It's just confusing. But she's in it. Brilliant actress. Quite a good addition. She's also British, which is good. Which is very good. Do you guys remember School of Rock?
Yeah.
The drummer who's
tried to forget it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched it years ago, but the drummer who was obviously a young lad in that, he's died, age 32. Kevin Clark, his name. So if you did like School of Rock, that's something for you to a little bit of news for you. Jack Black led the sort of like social. He did some posts Just saying now that he hit him quite hard because obviously he connected with them, the children, quite a lot.
He kept in touch with him, I think.
I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. Jap likes
Yeah.
I want him as an uncle, not as a dad. Bit mental. I want a bit more stability. Although I grew up without a dad, so that means shit to me. But I would want him as my slightly crazy uncle that you love to go around to the weekend and you do crazy shit and you wouldn't tell your mum. Is that kind of a guy?
I'd like him as a postman, me. So I only have to see him when he's got a parcel for me.
maybe wearing more clothes. He's very often naked, isn't he? But
yeah, he's always just wearing like a speedo. For a man of his size, I don't know if I would want to pull off a speedo, but he manages it. So
he nails it.
I'd want him as an unconventional butler.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen him as that. I think he'd do good as an unconventional butler.
Yeah, we'll do it. So if we're done, was there any more news you wanted to throw in, Nathan? Sorry.
No, that's that with all the gaming news, all the movie news. Unless did you get anything, Ben? Or are you firmly stuck in the 80s?
I'm off the grid.
Yeah.
I'm in the woods.
Yeah.
So,
brilliant. So we're going to go back to our news section we brought in back in time. The year we've chosen. In fact, because Ben's here today, I'm not going to tell the year just yet. We'll see if you can guess. Keep your hands where I can see them. No Googling allowed. That's it. Just keep him there for the next 5 minutes. He's just put them straight down. He's like on his phone. So there were 3 films. So what we've got is we've jumped back to a year. And there were 3 films this month which came out of note. There was a lot of trash, actually. But I will mention Speed came out, the first one. We have Police Academy, Mission to Moscow. So not the first Police Academy.
The most famous one.
Yeah, of course. I looked at it and went, which one was that? I don't think I saw that one. And the main film which came out this year was The Lion King. And that's the one that I'm going to talk about for a minute. So a budget of 45... Nathan, are you all right if I just fly with this? Do you want to say... Yeah. A budget of 45 million. Ben, how much did this make at the box office? Ooh. Go on, have a guess.
45 million.
To make, yeah. I mean, nowadays, you make an animation, you're just going to be like, 200 million. Nothing, 200 million. So what do you reckon it made at the box? The Lion King
I know we're big, yeah.
It was big. It's like one of their biggest films, isn't it?
Oh, I don't even
Hakuna
know where to start. This is not my strong point.
No worries. Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was 968 million. It was just shy of a...
I would have been close to
that. Yeah, I would. If someone had asked me, I'd have gone, oh, it made a lot. Probably like 200 million. No, it made nearly $1 billion. Ridiculous. Its original name was going to be called King of the Jungle, which obviously makes sense, but I quite like Lion King. I think it fits well, but we know it as that, so of course we've grown up with it and we kind of live with it, don't we? Jeremy Irons played Scar. His voice is quite recognisable in the film, but he didn't want to play it. He was like, I'm not interested, but they made him watch some of the animation, which is, of course, Disney, and we all know it's a very, very beautiful animation. He watched animation, he fell in love with it, and then he went for it. Can you remember the famous scene? Have you watched Lion King, man? I don't know what films you watched.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is a classic. This is one from my childhood.
Thank God.
I used to rewind video and just watch it on repeat.
Right. So, can you remember the wildebeest stampede? Where they all charge it? That took 3 years to actually animate and create. Nowadays, they'd create 3 and it'd just be automatic, wouldn't they? They'd just adjust it all and it'd just all be really easy. But 3 years to complete that.
Well, this is going back to hand painting cells and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
You can't beat it. Yeah. Top animation.
There was years, wasn't there, from like 20s, 30s, all the way to like when this came out. That all this was all hand painted, wasn't it? Absolutely amazing. Simba and Scar, although they took part in many scenes together, actually were created on separate coasts because the people that were doing animation, they were just like, dude, you live over there, you live over there. So they created and they actually communicated and eventually created the scenes for the film. Simba, Sarabi, Rafiki, and Pumbaa are all words from the Swahili language, and they mean lion, mirage, friend, and foolish, which all fit the characters that they played. I came across this really good. I can hear someone clicking. I swear Ben's trying to find out the date it came out.
I could have an educated guess at it.
Okay. So there is a scene when I was looking up facts, and the constellation Leo is shown in the sky when Mufasa is talking to Simba. And I've never ever come across that fact before, but I actually think that's quite a beautiful bit of information. The fact that they include these little bits. You might find this bit interesting, Ben. Here's a bit of a controversial fact about the film. Certain elements of the film were thought to bear a resemblance to, I'm going to guess it is the Osamu Tezuka's 1960s Japanese animation television series called The Jungle Emperor, which was known as Kimba the White Lion in the United States. It had many similarities between a number of characters and also individual scenes that they took part in. I know you're obviously interested in your older films, and I think that's quite... do you think that's something that occurs a lot? Older films get, twisted around and then thrown forward?
Definitely, especially Disney. I mean, they've made their name from basically using old stories and old films and old plays and whatnot.
Little Mermaid. That was an original story. Was it Hans Christian Andersen? And also the Frozen. It wasn't Frozen. Some called like the Ice Princess or the Ice Maiden.
Lion King's based off Shakespeare, isn't it? Is it Shakespeare?
Yeah, it's Hamlet.
Yeah, Hamlet. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, there we go.
There you go.
So I'm going to jump onto the game, and then after that you can have a guess at the year if you like. So the game, another abysmal time, June in this year. There was the Three Ninjas Kickback came out on the Mega Drive. I wasn't a big fan of the films myself, and I've never experienced the game. But the notable game, this was a notable game for myself because I played it quite a bit. It's called Uni Races. Uni Races, you played as a unicycle on a track, and you would, if you can look at my brilliant demonstration here, Ben, I'm on my arm, the little unicycle would like lean forward and race along this track, and it would go like, it would do loops, and you could do like a BMX would do like tricks. You could do this with this you weren't riding the unicycle, you were the unicycle. Very good. It was actually noted for the fast pace of the game. It was on SNES. It ran very well, very fast. Stunning game to play and to watch. The music as well was brilliant. The SNES, of course, had very superior audio to the Mega Drive, and it was bang on. The music was banging. Just like there were 45 different tracks, not music. I'm on about the actual race tracks across various different modes. Very fun game. There was something of interest. It only got a run of 300,000 and no more were actually made because Pixar had filed a lawsuit against it saying the unicycle design had been stolen from a small animation that they made. This all went to court. It ended up, I think Pixar more or less won this one. And there was a big argument to do with how many ways you can actually animate a unicycle. Let's be honest, not many. You've got a wheel, a stem, and a seat. And you've got the pedals, of course, but it leaning forward and the weight. It's a bit of a garbage sort of situation with that. A bit disappointing when I came across that. Nathan, did you want me to jump onto this for Ben, your game, or would you like to do it?
Have you let him guess what year it were?
Oh my bad, Ben. I am sorry.
Don't forget that.
Very sorry. So the films that came out: Speed, Police Academy, Mission to Moscow, obviously the famous one, and Lion King.
That's the one that gives it away, isn't it? Mission to Moscow.
Yeah.
What year would you say?
Originally, I was thinking early 90s, but I think I might be a bit too early there. I was originally thinking maybe 93, but I want to say more like 96 or 95, somewhere around that region.
Extremely close, and I like the way you've kind of messed about with it, thinking, right, I know it's 90s. Might not be too early. The year is 1994. So you more or less got it. We'll let you have that because you couldn't get much closer than 95, really. But yeah, solid guess there for that.
Yeah. You know what it's like when you're a kid. Your memories can blur a bit. Because I might not have got and seen The Lion King till about a year or two after it come out anyway. So.
Exactly. Due to
maybe that's
your age or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've just read the notes you've put. Would you like me to do this? Nathan?
Yep.
We can obviously both talk about it when I will announce it. So Nathan's game: Green Light, Rewrite, and Scrap. I've discussed with Nathan, and we've got your 3 films. He's picked 3 films for you, and you have to greenlight one, which basically means you get to keep it. You can have this film. Nothing's going to change about it. It will stay solid. The rewrite, you are going to have to say, right, this is a film that is going to get changed. Fundamentally, it will stay within this. It'll be the same genre or whatever. It'll be more or less the same, but it's going to get a full rewrite. And scrap, it just goes, poof, gone, never to have existed. Now Nathan's rule is never to exist. And I would favour to just disappear right now. You can never watch it again. I would prefer that. But this is Nathan's game, Nathan's rule, so we're going to go with it. And the films we've chosen are Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon. We've got Avengers Assemble and The Hobbit, the third Hobbit film. So if you'd like to. All right, your face says it all. Look, we're just pissing about what we've got.
they are your 3 favourite films.
Obviously, greenlight every one of them.
Yeah,
the obviously. 3 films that we've chosen. Now, I have actually seen all these films, so I'm pleased about this. One, I'll say one of them is a favourite film of mine, which I've seen many times. The other one I love, and the other one I've watched once and enjoyed. The first film choice is Akira. We know that this is a big one. The second film choice is The Thing. And the third is... Go on.
I'm stood here looking at... I've got a poster from Akira, an original movie poster, and The Thing, original movie poster. Like 2 of my favourite films ever. So.
The third film choice is The Big Lebowski.
Of course.
What?
So what I need to do is go with your guts. So Nathan, feel free to jump in, of course. Just he got me with some good films on the cast.
I will say, me and Ben have both watched these at the cinema. We fairly recently.
I've seen all 3 at cinema.
Yeah, after we've been to watch 2 of them, haven't we? Before.
Yeah,
I was going to go see Akira, but I couldn't make it, could I, that day?
Yeah,
yeah. They were really good. That and all.
This is just unfair. This is cruel.
Which one means the most? Which one means the most?
I mean, I could have thrown in Sideways, and I could have thrown in Killer Clowns, or I could have thrown in Recall. Yeah.
If anyone's not watching the video of this on YouTube and he's very stressed right now, I think he's actually started to sweat a little bit more than what he was a few minutes ago.
This, I don't think you can actually answer this.
You can. You've got to.
You've got to. That's the rule.
Right.
Which film could you live without?
None of them. I'll kill me then. You could possibly rewrite The Big Lebowski, not because it's got anything wrong with it. Obviously, it's like a perfect film, but the characters could get into so many situations that you could easily weave in a different storyline and it'd still be as good. But like Akira and The Thing are absolute 10 out of 10 masterpieces.
Yes.
Both massively important for the genres.
I'm going to guess. Can I guess what he's going to do?
Go on.
He's going to get rid of The Big Lebowski. He's going to keep Akira, and he's going to rewrite The Thing.
No. I know what he's going to do.
I think the one that I'll hold up and say that it's got to stay because it's an absolute masterpiece and you cannot literally change anything. It's got to be Akira.
Okay.
So that's solidly safe.
So I was right. Akira doesn't.
Yeah,
get
you've got
changed.
one. You've got one.
I knew it would be. I knew because it is that film which introduced possibly millions of people into this specific type of anime film. It was one. It was one of the ones that I watched first on VHS. I probably got it somewhere actually, and it was amazing. It drew me in.
Yeah,
it was.
It was holds up there.
Cinematic when cartoons for me weren't cinematic. It was like, what the fuck is this?
And with that world, that like cyberpunk, dirty future, a bit like
flashing lights, that race,
a bit of the unknown,
that bike, all of it. Ooh.
And just like I've mentioned this before when we talked about the soundtrack, it's just like sound design on it is amazing. Obviously, going back to Lion King being hand drawn, obviously Akira's 1988, I think. All hand drawn, like cell by cell, just quality. So yeah, we'll keep Akira. We'll green light that because like if somebody thrown Akira at you and said, "What do you want to do with it?" You'd say green light it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't say scrap this or rewrite it. It's got to be green lit. I'd that Big Lebowski and the Thing. It's,
wait a minute. If you kept all the elements with Akira, if it was still that cyberpunk, still that kind of Tokyo, still those characters, but the story was a bit different, would it not still have the same effect?
Well, have you ever read the manga?
No.
Because the manga is actually 6 volumes, and
definitely not.
The film has actually been wrote to just. It's basically the first 2 books. Because in the manga, he doesn't actually find Akira's remains. He actually finds Akira, and Tetsuo brings him back up to Neo Tokyo, and then they literally level it, and it becomes like a wasteland, and like Tetsuo's the king, and Akira's like his little mate. So with that film, you could easily take any of the other books. I just think Otomo wanted to keep it streamlined into the main story, which is the first 2 books. So you're sort of right there that you could rewrite it, and it probably still be as.
So there's a leeway with it. There's a bit of possibility with it. Okay. So what about the Thing? What we're doing with the Thing?
This is hard now because you can't. How can you just get rid of Big Lebowski from history?
Exactly.
If I were to rewrite the Thing, but the Thing, I don't know.
Ooh. It was written. My choice. Why you think about it? My choices were a lot easier.
Tell me what you.
So I had Alien, Interstellar, and Enter the Dragon.
See, you've got a lot of like.
They're like. I mean, Alien, Enter Dragon. They're 2 of my top films, and then Interstellar is a film I absolutely adore. But Interstellar, it's inconsequential. I love the film, but it doesn't really affect anything. There could be other films like that, that are just as good. It was just the father-daughter relationship that it was emotionally hit me quite hard, and but that was one I chose to get rid of. Alien, I chose to rewrite because although I love the film, I've watched similar films and enjoyed them more or less sort of the same. Like recently there was Underwater, which I've mentioned a few times, and with Kristen Stewart in, and that film, if that film had come out when Alien came out, that would be the Alien film, because it was a homage to Alien anyway. The writers, the producers, they all were like, yeah, it's based on Alien. So I thought, well, if Alien had a rewrite into basically Alien has had its rewrite into Underwater, and I thoroughly enjoyed Underwater. And then the one that couldn't be changed is Enter the Dragon mainly because of its impact and because of its connection to me and my family. It got me into martial arts, which introduced me to my father-in-law, then to my wife and 4 children. So it was actually easy for me.
Yeah, this is a bit harder for me.
But you have to pick. You've got a minute.
Yeah. No, I'm going for it then. I'm going to rewrite Big Lebowski, as I've said.
Okay.
That world, them characters, even though it pains me to say, get rid of the Thing, but this is a stupid game anyway. So
it is a stupid game, but it's because it forces you to have to think just for a few minutes about your favourite things. It's like
you've got to think about the impact it would actually have on the world as well. Like getting rid of the Thing would definitely change cinema.
But Big Lebowski wouldn't.
That would to an extent. I mean, Coen Brothers were it one of their big hits? I know it's a cult favourite. I don't know if it were at the time, but
I don't know if you'd have films like Superbad or Hangover.
Yeah, a lot had come from that.
Yeah, all that sort of genre, sort of not even stoner, but sort of I don't know, buddy sort of quirky characters.
When did it come out, Big Lebowski?
98. 98.
It is 98. I've just had a look. Yeah.
Yeah, it was set in 95 or something. Though it was really weird because it come out and then it was set a few years earlier than it come out. Something.
I'm looking at their filmography now, seeing what else they've done after that. No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Stuff like True Grit.
Yeah.
Bridge of Spies, Hail Caesar. Not a lot that I kind of recognise on there, but obviously that I would assume that Big Lebowski is one of their bigger hits on that one, definitely. So let's get this. Go on.
Bridge of Spies, then.
Yes, yeah.
What did they have to do with that? Not one of their films. Is it not like Spielberg?
Hang on. I've lost it. Bridge of Spies. Steven Spielberg, but they wrote it. They wrote it.
Oh,
Yeah, they wrote it.
I didn't know they wrote that.
Yeah, they
new
wrote
one
it.
to me.
But yeah, Spielberg directed it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's a bit of information I probably wouldn't know anyway. So let's get this clear. Akira,
Yeah.
keep, Unchange. The Thing. What are we doing with that
Gone,
again?
it's gone, unfortunately.
It's gone.
I mean,
It's gone. I wasn't sure. I thought it was the other way around.
No, I know.
The Thing's gone.
I think with the Big Lebowski, I watch that a lot more than I watch The Thing. But it's not to say I don't love The Thing. It's definitely in my top 5.
I personally say that my favorite film as Alien, I can't watch it that much. I can't watch it that much.
Yeah, I'm opposite. My favorite films are ones that I just absolutely like, just watch over and over.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Thank you for taking part in that game. I'm glad it stressed you out a little bit. That's exactly what
sorry to John Carpenter and that, and everyone who loves The Thing.
So
I love it as much.
So what we're doing now is we are going to jump on to a tier maker, which we love to do, and we love to upset some of our viewers by doing, because they're like, "What are you doing?" What we are looking at is Nathan.
It is Miyazaki films, which you probably know him from Studio Ghibli. These are all Studio Ghibli films, but these are specifically ones that Miyazaki had a hand in. So we've got. I mean, just from off the bat, you could not put any of these in D.
So none of these films, make this clear, none of these films are bad.
No, not even a slight whifter of badness from them. They're all perfect as they are. It's just this is probably the tightest one we're going to do, because they're all good, but we've got
even tighter than our breakfast one.
Especially tighter than breakfast.
What are you on about? Have you seen that one yet, Ben? We love our breakfast.
Yeah, I'll give that one a listen.
He learned how to fry an egg from that.
Yeah. I learned how to fry an egg. I'd never fried one before.
No.
Flip your oil on it, you flip your oil on it. Right, go for it. I'm just going to make this clear that I have seen a lot of these, but a lot of them quite a while ago, so I can only really comment on Spirited Away. Sorry to be basic, but that I do really like that film. But well, this is between you two, and don't take all year. Go for it.
Right, so we've stipulated the rules of we were allowed one S each, so that's we can have 3 S's. You probably guess what Lee's is going to be, because he's only seen the one.
I'm going to say yes. That will be as a basic choice for me. I know its impact is massive. I know people love it. They talk about it all the time. It's always in that top 10, because it's the one that stands out for me, and the one that I can sort of remember the most. That's gonna. For me, we'll go. I'm going to throw that up into S, and if you don't like it, it's tough, because I'm actually recording this, so I'm the boss. Anyway,
I'm happy with that one anyway. But
we'll do it when we get to it.
When we come to it. So, as first one is Kiki's Delivery Service. Now, this is a film about a little girl that's actually a witch, and when you become a witch, or you're going to become a witch, you leave and go to a different town, and you experience life as an adult, and that's basically what the film is.
I have definitely watched. I definitely remember it now a little bit. You've said. By the way, I know you can have one S, but I don't expect one of us each of an S and the rest in A. That is not.
No,
I do. No, you must break these down. I expect C. I expect something in C, B, and A. No, C. No. C's not right. Traditionally,
I was going to say we can. If anything, we could choose. We definitely got to have a D, which is not saying it's a bad film, like we said.
When you do tier maker, D would be traditionally trash. So
what we'll do is
we haven't got a trash. We haven't got a trash on here. All we've got is in order of how much you like them. That's it. And
so if we're saying D's the least favorite,
that's
still a quality film.
Yeah, all the films are good.
I would put out there straight away that I've watched Kiki's Delivery Service a few times. I do own it, but it's not. If you were to say any on that list is my least favorite, it probably would be Kiki's Delivery Service. So I'd be happy to put that in a D.
So I'm going to sit that in D.
Not saying it's bad.
I'm going to sit it in D. Nathan, have you got any feedback on that?
I would have put it at a C, but only because the kids like it. I do like Kiki's Delivery Service. It is a good film. It's just not one of my favourites. and I do have it on DVD, which the kids do watch quite often.
Right. So I think we'll leave it in D for the moment.
Yeah.
Because Ben has said the only one for him would be D. However, if through the discussion you feel like it can jump up, it can of course move up a little bit. And Porco Rosso is the next one.
Oh, I love a bit of Porco.
I know it's like your favourite one. That one.
The smoking pig, and old ladies want him. Porco. I feel like with Studio Ghibli films, a lot of the time your favourite film rotates because you watch them a lot.
My daughter gave it to me. It's this little Japanese mochi thing. I don't know what it's like. A mochi.
Oh, they're eight nice.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
But yeah, I think that your favourite films can rotate quite a lot. So we given your mood and stuff and the time when you see them. So Porco, I'd happily put in a B. If that's good with Nathan.
I've sat it in B, but what's your opinion on that, Nathan?
I like that one less than Kiki's. But it's only probably because I've seen that one the least. I probably only ever watched it twice.
Is it because it's a pig in a fucking plane and it's a bit weird?
Yeah, he smokes a lot, yeah. and he's a bit of a man whore as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like a love rat.
Yeah.
Do you want to see my plane?
Keep it in B for now, but if we have to push some down, I would have to push it down.
All right. Is it My Neighbor Totoro? This is also a very popular one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the mascot, isn't it? Totoro is the mascot of Studio Ghibli.
There it is. Oh wow, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and that is my kid's favourite film out of all the Studio Ghiblis. It's quite short. I think it's only like an hour and 5 minutes or something, and it's not.
So if that's your kid's favourite, does that mean it has to go up in S?
No, because we're on about my favourite, and it's not my favourite, but I would happily put that one in an A because I think that's a really good one.
So what did you say? What would you say for Totoro, Ben?
Like I do love it. It is a classic. I do appreciate it for what it is, but if I were ranking it in terms of my favourite, I'd like Porco better. So by logic, I'd have to put it in a C.
So if Nathan's looking at an A, but you're a C, so I think this could. Is this going to be a joint B?
Do you want to stick it in B and knock Porco down to a C? Seeing as Nathan said he liked Porco less than Kiki, which is a D. So if you put Totoro in a B and Porco in a C, and then Kiki in a D, that sort of sits well enough for me.
Okay, that's good. We'll leave it like that. So the next one is Howl's Moving Castle. Now this is I'm going to say this. This is also a very popular one. I see this pop up a lot actually. Howl's Moving Castle, and I believe I've watched like a good chunk of the beginning, but I don't think I've finished this one. So what would we say for this one, Nathan?
A. Straight A for me. This is a contender for S for me, but it's not because there's another. I've got 3 contenders for S out of these, and this is one of them. But it's not going to be me S because there's one that I like slightly more. But I think this one balances like the sort of the war logic that they have in a lot of the Ghibli films, like the dive bombing and the planes and stuff, and the magic sort of fantasy.
Okay.
It mashes them together really well. It's beautiful to look at from start to finish.
Is it steampunky? Does it have a steampunk vibe to
it?
No,
it's more like...
kind of, but not. It's like fantasy steampunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just because of castle in it and stuff, and the towns are a bit like that sort of thing, but not.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a weird setting, the whole film, but it's so good that it is one of the best Studio Ghiblis have.
So where would you two sit with it? Where's it going?
Well, I said I got an Akira poster and a Thing poster. The other poster straight in front of me is Howl's Moving Castle poster.
So do you want that as your S?
No, not as my S because I know solidly what is my SP.
Yeah.
So that's
I would agree with A, 100% A.
Okay. Yeah. Ponyo, straight on to Ponyo.
Yeah.
Start this one then.
Ponyo is one that I saw at cinema. I saw Owls at cinema as well when they originally released. Ponyo I did really like, but it never grabbed me. And then I rewatched it like about a year ago, and I thought it were a lot better. But I'm happy for Ponyo to go in a C. I'd say C.
It's one of my favourite ones, but I know what you mean. It doesn't. I don't. It feels out of all the films, that feels like the children's one out of the Studio Ghibli's.
So it's
it's
aimed
Liam
at a
Neeson
younger
in it.
audience. Is this one?
Yeah, and it's there's nothing bad about it. It's just I don't think it's as good as the others. The art style is slightly off as well for me compared to how detailed some of the other ones are.
So where would you two agree on sitting it?
I'd C.
Going both for a C?
Yeah.
So is this not as good as Totoro and but better than Kiki's? Yeah, would you both agree with that?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So Spirited Away, I'm just going to put that in S now. Save that conversation for that one. Go on for the next one. If you want to talk about the impact of Spirited Away, I think that's fair enough. For me, as like a pop culture type of thing, you see it pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's on lots of T-shirts. It's always ranked up high when it comes to people talking about it. It seems to be one of those it's when you say, "Oh, what have you watched any good anime?" or "What's your favorite?" "Oh, I really like Spirited Away." It just kind of pops up, doesn't it? Akira, Spirited Away. There's probably a couple of other ones, but
I think it transcends the just being an anime. It's like a film that everyone can enjoy, can see, can appreciate. It's definitely one of their like best known pictures, and definitely like a cultural touching stone.
Yeah, that for me, that's what made me like Studio Ghibli. That's the first one I saw.
I think that's the same for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what made them popular in West is Spirited Away, because it came out in cinema over here, didn't it? It was quite big at the time. That's a contender for S for me, but it's not my S because luckily you chose it, so I don't have to. I don't have to choose it. But my son loved it when it first came out. We got it on copy DVD to watch it, and I must have seen that film at least 100 times. That's the most Studio Ghibli film I've watched, and I've also seen it at cinema with Ben as well. A couple of years ago when they did like Studio Ghibli season.
We saw them all near enough, didn't we?
Yeah, pretty much all at Studio Ghibli's, and every one of them is beautiful at cinema. But yeah, I'm more than happy to have that in S.
Brilliant. So what's the next one? Because I can't quite see there's no writing on it. I don't know what it is on there.
I think that's Wind Rises. Is that? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Wind Rises, that one.
But what is that about? Have you got anything?
This film is. I saw this originally when it came out of cinema. This were meant to be Miyazaki's last film. This one's like a lot of Studio Ghibli films. Is a bit of a tearjerker. It's based on a true story. I don't know if you know much about Miyazaki, but he's obsessed with like aircraft and flight. And this is a story about a designer of planes, like during the war. So it's again like a lot of Ghibli. It's entrenched in the like war and bombings and all that sort of stuff. It's a more like realistic one based in reality. There's like a lot of dream sequences and stuff, and it is like it's a beautiful film. Like,
is it more of an art piece? Do you find, or
not an art piece? But it were like Miyazaki's last hurrah when he was going out. Obviously he's come back since, but it is a quality film. You can't say a bad word about it, really. Definitely sad. Definitely. What do you think, Nate?
I've only seen it once when it first came out, and I can remember enjoying it, but I can't remember too much about it. So I'm happy for you to decide where this one goes, because I'd put it in D, but that's only because I've watched it once and I can't remember it. But if you think it deserves higher, go for higher. I'll go with whatever you want to say.
Well, because you're sort of undecided, we've got a lot of quality still to come. It's just as good as any other films, but if you want to go with D, we can put it in D just for the sake of keeping it nice and even.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
not that it's a D, like. But...
Yeah.
What is it? Is it equal to Ponyo and Porco Rosso, or?
I'd say it's better than Ponyo, equal to Porco, but obviously balancing it with what Nathan says, we'll go with D just to keep it. Unless you want to put Ponyo to D and Wind Rises to C.
How do you feel about that, Nathan? Does that fit you?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
So
that's better.
on to the next film, and what is that?
That is Lupin in Castle of Cagliostro. You just say it, Ben.
Cagliostro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ben.
I can never say that word.
You needed help with that one, definitely.
Yeah. This is what I know is one of Ben's favourites, and it's one of my least favourites. I don't think it's bad, but it's one of them ones where
this is Ben's S, clearly.
Yeah,
it's not actually my S. Not my S.
But it's like I think we've got opposite views on this one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's one of my least favourites of them. So like I would put this one in a C, but Ben, you decide where this one goes because I know that you held it close.
This is a weird one because it's Miyazaki and it's Ghibli, but it's like taking hold of the Lupin franchise, and it were a bit weird that he directed it and it run the Ghibli flag because all the other Lupin films are quite adult. So he took the Lupin characters and made them more Ghibli and switched it up a bit. So it's quite different to the original Lupin series of films and TV show. But there's just a bit of charm about it. It's a bit like a caper. It's a bit of a heist film.
Yeah,
it's a load of fun. It's like traditional princess in a castle / heist movie, and you've got Lupin, and all characters that surround Lupin are like quality characters. Zenigata's this like detective that hunts him down. That's stupid. It's all good laugh. Obviously quality animation, and if you get one of the English dubs. Solid Snake, the old David Hayter, he does the voice for Lupin.
Oh, really?
Which is a quality dub. It's a lot better than the other dub. But yeah, I'd 100% say this is an A for me. But and obviously Nathan's the other end of the spectrum.
So do we sit it in a B, or would you, if you want to insist it goes in an A, it's fine. If you can,
I'd insist A.
Okay, if Nathan's happy with sitting it up there because it is one of Ben's clearly one of Ben's favourites, I think it's only fair. You all right with that, Nathan?
Yeah, because I'm just looking what's left, and I've realised what order they're going to go in.
Straight on for the next one then, with no haste on this. What is that next one called?
That is Castle in the Sky. It is called that, isn't it? It doesn't have a subtitle or anything.
Laputa,
that's it. Castle in the Sky, and this reminds me of a PlayStation 1 game I used to play. It does very much feel like that sort of world. Yeah, Tekken 3, Yoshimitsu, and this is a fantasy one, and it's also mixed with like real sort of airship stuff, which a few of the other the next one definitely is, but this one I do quite like this one, but I'd be happy for a B for this one. I think it's on par with Totoro.
What PS1 game were you referring to?
That Grand Stream Saga, what we're talking about today.
It always reminded me of Ico. Like Ico were influenced by this.
I never played Ico. That's the thing.
100% it was.
Yeah.
I'd say this were an A, to be honest.
Yeah,
but I don't mind moving Lupin down one to a B and keeping that in A. But what do you think? What were you going to say?
No, the next two are going to have to be S's, aren't they? So,
but one of the next two is an S for me, and I think the other one's an S for you. So
yeah, that's what I mean. So I were only thinking B, so it were equal because
all right. Put Lupin into B because Nathan's here or there, and we can both agree that Laputa is one of the best ones.
So the one we've just been talking about with the girl with the red trousers, that's going into B, yeah.
A.
And then the one with the slightly, what was it, the caper, the comedy slight one, that's going into B. Yeah. Okay. So the next one, I can't see the name for this one. So.
Do you want to introduce it, Ben?
I'm assuming it's Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind.
Yeah,
that's my S rank.
Straight up to an S. Tell us about the film a little bit.
This was Ghibli's first feature film, I believe. It's got the 80s synth soundtrack that smashed in with this like fantasy, like otherworldly, oldie worldy type thing, like the world that it's set in. But it's a very like a lot of Ghibli films. It's about like preserving the world and like the environment and stuff.
Okay, so it has a message.
Yeah, it has a message, and like nearly every other Ghibli film, it has a really strong like female lead, which, like, looking back at it now, if I were a little girl growing up, that'd probably, like, they are like good role models. Like, I could see if you've got a young child, like Nathan's had young girls growing up, like these sort of films can show like good role models.
Okay.
And it's got like a really strong lead female. It's got a good cast of voices in the English dub, which and Patrick Stewart's in it.
Yeah, Patrick
Stewart. I remember this now. You said Patrick Stewart. I remember watching this a few years ago.
He's the one who like rides a chocobo, like and he has a hood up and that.
Right. Yeah, I remember hearing his voice and going like, Patrick Stewart.
This is a proper classic. I just love everything about it, and it's just my S. Like, a lot of them could be S ranked, but this is my personal S rank of a film. And if a lot of people might skip over it,
thanks, Jack.
If they're looking through Ghibli's back catalogue, because it is an early example. Like, the animation's not as polished, but it's definitely got a charm. And I recently showed it to one of my friends who's a massive Ghibli fan. He never watched it, and like straight away he was like, "Oh, that was so amazing!" And he went home and showed his little daughter it. So
I might have to introduce maybe one of my lot to it then.
Yeah, it's a proper overlooked Ghibli, that one. It's strange how overlooked it is, because the music on that one, that's like Akira level music. It's so fucking good. It just pulls you in. It's a really good one.
So if we go to the last one, which we know is an S, Nathan, this is yours. So if you'd like to tell us about it.
Yeah, this is Princess Mononoke, and I knew this was my favorite Ghibli the first time I watched it, because the art style, it's more Japanese, because there's this sort of samurais and stuff in it, but like they're all basically, they're idiots in this, but it's got a strong female lead, same as the other one. It's got quite a good score, and it's got a message of like preservation of nature sort of thing, because it's all about this one lad called Ashitaka, and he gets infected by this sort of disease, and it's like there's hidden messages behind what this disease is, but it's basically like a forest spirit infects him, and he goes to search for a cure, and then he stumbles across people like sort of basically raping the land, like taking all the resources and stuff, and it's like a sort of side in between the nature and then all the humans, and then it's like the message basically is like, maybe we've gone a bit too far, because from what we've took, and like we've sort of crossed the threshold with it. And it's this fight scenes with samurais, and it comes out of nowhere. I don't know any other Ghibli where they show blood. This one, someone gets their arm chopped off, they get stabbed all over, and it just appears, and it's there, and it's gone, and it's like they don't focus on it, but there is actual like death and maiming.
Yeah, don't someone get their head cut off?
Yeah, someone gets their head cut off. Someone gets shot. Well, the main character gets shot a couple of times, doesn't it? And it's. I mean, there is guns, but it's like old. I think it's supposed to be set in like 1700s or something.
It's like when they invented the guns, isn't it? It's like she's got the guns that no one else has. Well, no one else has them. Like, it's like it would just come in about like that at that time.
But this could easily be a game as well. This could be a lot of Studio Ghiblis.
An RPG of this would have been like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's proper story rich. It grips you, and it's you can see repercussions in stuff from that, in other stuff. Like the main character's like got a wolf, she's part of like this wolf clan, and her mask appears in loads of stuff, like as hidden Easter eggs. There's a forest spirit, which is like a glowing deer thing. That appears in like even Breath of the Wild. You can capture one. So it's had a massive impact, and this is easily the S one for me. Out of the three, Owls, Spirited Away, and this, they're all S's to me, but this is the SSS one for me. So
the S plus, which we don't have, which some people do, but it's been quite interesting listening to you. Both of you talk about these films. You're clearly quite passionate about them. I think it's a well chosen tier maker from you, Nathan. Even though I moaned about it and saying, "Oh, I can only really remember one of them," but I think I'm in the same place that a lot of people are with these films. Where they might have seen a couple, but they kind of remember one of them because of the the impact it had on them at the time. It was a very good film.
Majority are on Netflix. So if anyone's listening and they want to watch these, get either. But I would suggest getting them on Blu-ray or watch them on Netflix. Because you can't go wrong. They're all for all ages and all. You could sit with a baby or you could sit with a 90-year-old. Even though I said there's blood in that one, it doesn't. It's not like it focuses on it. So my kids can watch it fine, and they have done since they were little. So it's nothing. It's nothing. There's not really any swearing or sex or anything like that. They're very family-friendly adult films. So it's really good.
Right, just on a last note then, Nathan, if you'd like to run down the order. If you want to go from the bottom and then up to the best films as a last thing for today.
So D, which is our bottom, which is no means anywhere near what they should be in real life. This is just, like we said, these are Studio Ghibli films ranked. So they all could be S's in my opinion, but this is how we've ranked them. D would be Kiki's Delivery Service and Ponyo. Then C would be Porco Rosso and Wind Rises. B would be Totoro and Castle of Castaglio, which I could never say. A, Howl's Moving Castle and Laputa Castle in the Sky. And then S, of course, it's Lee's choice, Spirited Away, Ben's choice, No Sakai, and my choice, Princess Mononoke. And that's all in them, the perfect films.
So after that rundown, Ben, we're on with that, yeah? On board with that?
Yeah, 100%. That's quite a good list, actually.
I mean, apart from S, there were all 2 in each category, so we stacked it out perfect there, I think.
Yeah, I think it's nice to look at as well. It's just it's simple. You're not going maybe that. You don't feel like there's any conversation where you could move them around, or maybe you personally could, but you both agreed on where to put them, so that's great. And on that note, thanks for joining us today. If you've got an opinion on these films and the order that we've put them in, we'd love to have it. I will post a screenshot of these films up on Facebook as well. Not on the same day, I'll do it the day after that we've ranked. So a big thanks to Nathan I'm just changing your name to Nathan. Big thanks to Nathan for hosting with me like usual, and a massive thanks for Ben for joining us today. Ben is a big part of our Beer and Bad Movies series that we're going to be doing, but also we're going to drag him along every now and again to help out if he's not doing anything. So a bye from me.
And it's a bye from me.
And it's a laters from me.
A laters. So yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Laters.
Thank you for joining us on this episode. Remember, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all those other good places. Oh, we're also on Facebook, of course. So, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed it, give us a share, give us a like, give us a sub, etc., etc.